I really wanted to do my live stream earlier today after I'd finished teaching yoga, but my phone started overheating and then my battery was going flat. I'm like, okay, I'll do my training first, because I actually just got off from doing the first live training for Heal the Land. And I literally brought tears to my eyes while I was doing it. So I'm just going to find a spot to sit down. I wanted to come outside and enjoy this sunshine because it's been raining for like 2 weeks here or something, solid on the coast. And it never rains that much. It hasn't rained that much in a long time. Okay, if I sit here. Yes, that works. So I just got a couple of things I wanted to speak to today. Just let me put this up so you guys can see. Whoops, might help if I tie the thing up, hey. Tighten it. Tell me if you suffer from anxiety. There's a few of you here I can see. Please let me know. Tell me so I can help you. I should have lengthened these before. Ah, that's better. Cool. Let me know if you suffer from anxiety. I want to know. My face is shiny. I've been seeing my aircon doing the training, and then I come outside and it's boiling hot. Humid. So, so just got off from the live training. Literally brought tears to my eyes. And I wanted to speak to that. Wanted to speak about that because what came through in the training is like almost another level of what I did when I actually went and did the Heal the Land itself, right? And this depth of, I guess, sadness, it is sadness, that came through. Okay. So the thing I wanted to share, right, I named the title of this live stream Anxiety, like don't be afraid to say sorry for fear of getting in trouble, right? And I wrote that because what I realized holding that Heal the Land training was that there is a thread of consciousness. Like there's so many different threads of consciousness, right? But then ultimately there's only one consciousness, and that consciousness is love. And no matter what has happened to the land, no matter what's happened to your life, no matter what somebody's done to you, no matter what somebody's done to somebody else, no matter how bad a situation is, both parties are sorry. Whether that's you or the other party or both, at its core, both parties are sorry. And, you know, like even like the most murderous, hardest criminals on this planet, even when they don't seem remorseful, even when they show no signs of it, that is simply because they are not in their body. Their soul consciousness is not in their body. And they're hardened from all that pain that's in their body. And they're not in their body because they don't want to feel it. So even though it seems like they don't feel sorry, they are. Because they too were once a newborn baby. And they too were loving and had that, you know, life excitement in them when they were a child. When they were a newborn baby, they weren't that remorseless murderer person. They weren't. Anyway, the point I wanted to share was anxiety, and I'm wondering if you suffer from anxiety. If you do, like before I jumped on this live stream, I googled like what is the terminology for like don't be afraid of getting in trouble, like don't be afraid of saying sorry for fear of getting in trouble. So I think I googled something like fear of getting in trouble to try and see what that term is. I know there's a word that I'm looking for and I can't seem to find what that is. But the thing that came up in my Google search was children being scared of getting in trouble, and so they've got this anxiety. And I was like, oh, ding, right? In current collective consciousness, there's like a thread of wrongness. Like, people are scared of being wrong. People don't voice up. People don't share their feelings because they're scared of being told off by somebody. Because as a child, we shared how we felt, and then we got in trouble for that because it wasn't approved by that parent, or that parent was having a bad day or whatever, right? So people walking around scared of speaking their truth, scared of being who they really are, because they're scared of being rejected, which at its core is being wrong. And the only thing that causes wrongness is a judgment from another person, and we've taken that on, right? So I feel like there's a big thing going on collectively at the moment where there's a lot of people that they're sorry in their heart, but they don't have the balls or the courage to actually say it because of ego, pride, because of their position will be in jeopardy, because of whatever, right? But ultimately, they're human and they're remorseful. Like, we've all got that. Because at its core of everything is love, right? Love is at the core of everything. We don't want to hurt another being, you know? And there's many different reasons and scenarios why another human hurts another human. And at its core, it's usually at its core is because that person is hurting. It doesn't excuse their behavior, but hurt people hurt people. It's the saying, right? If you suffer from anxiety, I want you to tune in to what's been happening in the past day, past week especially. You know, when anxiety goes through waves, and sometimes it's really bad and sometimes it's not. Check in when it is bad. If you feel like you are in trouble, if you feel like you're wrong, and then notice where that's coming from, because it won't be coming from probably you. It's coming from like you're scared of being rejected in some way, shape or form for being who you are, from another person. It's always coming. You don't want to get in trouble. So it's like this constant freaking out. Because if I'm wrong by that person, I'm going to be rejected by them, and I don't want to lose them. So we do everything to walk around on tippy toes so we don't get in trouble, right? And it causes anxiety because we're fear of getting in trouble. So I wanted to, jump on and I'm trying to piece how this all comes together, but it made so much sense. It's like when I do the Heal the Land, like I've just come off the live training from Heal Your Land workshop, which, by the way, you can still join us. The recording will be sent out, and there's 2 more workshops to go in the next 2 days. So I'll post the link in the comments. You can join that live workshop. It's very, very powerful. Healing the land, but also the souls that have been slaughtered, and working your mediumship skills. If you're a healer, a psychic, a light worker, a medium, this is taking your skills to the next level. This is the real work that the earth is calling us to step up and do right now. And it came, this message and this live stream came from that, that training, in the sense that, yes, there's so many souls that are stuck on the earth plane for tribes and Holocaust and everyone being wiped out, right? But the people who also killed them, however many years ago that was, are also here. Especially when we are called to step up and heal the land in this way of what I'm teaching in these workshops, that those souls are also sorry. And I started crying when I was teaching that, and I tapped into that. And I did it too when I actually went to the places and healed the land, because the sense of remorse from these souls for killing the land, for raping the land, for the deforestation, for everything that we've done to the land, there is a sense of deep sadness there. Yeah, there's a grief, there's a longing for people to wake up. There's we're missing that community, that tribe. I was looking for photos for the slides that I created for my training, and I got a photo of suburbia, and it's an aerial view of suburbia, right? And it's just these houses. And then another thing, and I was like, wow, we talk about living free and being free and getting out of the system. Yeah, when we look at the big picture society view, it's like we are all trapped. We're all living in this system, whether we're free or not. Because ultimately, hey John, we're all in this entrapment, if you may, of all our individual houses, they've still got us, what's the word? They've still got us trapped. That's not the word I'm looking for, but, you know, like true freedom is completely living in complete, you know, natural rhythms and cycles of the earth like the tribes used to, right? Whereas today we're trapped. Even though we might love our house and we might love where we live and all of that, I'm not saying that, but you know, like it was just this kind of wake up call for, you know, like we're longing for community, we're longing for support, you know, like depression, anxiety, all of that is through the roof right now. You know, like it's something like 4 adults to 1 child that, you know, energetically needs to raise 1 child. That's tribe living. That's not single household living or even double household living, right? You know, some of us have got more than 1 child. Like there's a lot of adults that actually need to energetically hold that space for the child to grow and flourish and not have abandonment issues and not have all that. You know what I mean? We are longing for this. And in Heal the Land, like I said, I just come out of that space. It's like there is such a level of remorse for not only the souls that are trapped here on the earth plane that have been killed and slaughtered, but for the people who did that. And it's not about, oh, well, they're wrong and they did that, so they're bad. It's not about that, right? If you're being called to step up in your psychic abilities, in your, you know, healing work and do this sort of work on the planet right now, you know that it's not about going in there and trying to fix, oh, I need to fix it and I'm so sorry we did this to you and oh my God, it's so bad. It's not that space. It's coming in from that deep, connected, grounded, empowered soul place of love, complete, pure, non-judgmental love, with all your tools of mediumship and healing the land, everything I'm teaching. Like I said, I'll post a link in the comments because you can still join us live the next 2 days, and the recording I just did will be sent out this afternoon. It's like, it's going in that empowered space to rebalance and to, recreate to the homeostasis of the planet. That is what we are being called to do, to step up to. Because the more of us that do this around the planet, and by the way, you don't physically have to be in the vicinity of the land that you want to heal. You know, psychic energy is psychic energy. You don't need to be in the vicinity of the land to heal a certain place on the earth. If you are being called to do that, you need to trust your abilities and do it, because you wouldn't be called to it if you weren't meant to be doing it, right? So this whole thing about anxiety and the wrongness, right? This wrongness thread was so clear coming out of the training that, you know, all the souls that are trapped on the planet right now or don't want to leave because they're so full of anger, which is making dense energy around the place, and, you know, they're coming into people who are not grounded in their body. Mind you, the best form of protection is being grounded in your body and knowing who you are, right? Because this, you know, those souls that are here have that sense of anger, that sadness as well because of what happened. But there's underneath that, as a counselor, as a healer, as a guide and a mentor, the biggest thing that I pull up on people straight away, the first thing, is about being wrong. They think they're wrong, they're not allowed to voice this because they'll be wrong, or, oh no, like, it's a wrongness. Whatever they, you know, it's like, I can't do anything right because I'm always wrong, right? Those sorts of threads, they're big collective, baby. And if you're feeling that, it's up to you to transform that, because it shifts the collective. Because all those souls that are trapped here, like if we're talking energetically, it's like they were killed for being who they are. Tribal people, for living the life that they lived, were killed for being who they were, right? And so many of us, today's society, are scared to step up into our healing abilities, into being who we are, into voicing how we're really feeling instead of just sweeping it under the carpet or shutting up for fear of being in trouble and fear of getting wrong or fear of being killed, right? Those souls were killed for being who they are. So there's so much of society today that is scared to be who they really are, because at a core level they don't want to be killed again. It's a collective thread. So when we can step up and really, you know, like heal the land, and if you're really being called to do this work, I urge you to get in now. I'll post a link in the comments. The recording's there. Like I said, there's 2 more live trainings, but it's about trusting your abilities. And, you know, we're healing this for the land, but it's also healing you. You aren't wrong for being who you are. You aren't wrong for speaking up, for having a voice. Doesn't mean that all your needs will be met. That's not what this is about. It's about voicing who you are, like expecting other people to meet your needs. Like it's really up to you to meet your needs. Yes, in relationship, there's compromise and there's a balance there. I get that, blah, blah, blah. But at its core, you're not wrong for having a need. You're not wrong for having a want. And if you're feeling anxiety or a level of unsettledness or you're scared or something is just a bit off, ask yourself where you are feeling like you are wrong, where you are feeling worthless. Ask yourself where you are feeling like you're going to get in trouble. Like there's this on edge kind of, oh, I better not do that, or I'll get in trouble, I better not do that, or I better not do that because I'll be wrong, or I'll get judged, or whatever it is. If you're feeling any of those, honestly, stand up and shake it off now, because you're feeling the collective, one, but you're also waking up to this, so that you can reclaim your power and your worth and know that actually anything that makes me feel like that is somebody else's judgment that I'm carrying. Because when you remember yourself as a newborn baby, you didn't have any of that. None of it. Maybe it was in the collective, but come on, newborn baby. Yeah? So if you're feeling anxious and it's at its peak, ask yourself where, you know, the past kind of day or week or month, look back over that and see what was going on in your life and who you are feeling judged or who you are feeling, you know, like you're going to get in trouble, you better do the right thing, right? Hey everyone, I see you guys joining. Because the other factor on that is that if you are the guilty party, right, and you know that you do need to apologize, don't fear apologizing. Like, don't, what is it? What is it? Not the pride, or I don't like using ego, but you know, like, don't be scared to say sorry for fear you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get backlash from doing that. Yeah? Because at its core, hey Tabitha, at its core, we're all sorry. When we release the judgment, when we release the anger, when we release the you're wrong, I'm right, you did this to me and you did that to me and you hurt me, under all of that is just wanting reconnection, is just wanting that homeostasis balance back, is just wanting forgiveness, is just wanting peace. Whether it's with the souls that have been slaughtered and you're healing the land, or whether it's in your personal relationship, or whether it's in your relationship with yourself. Everything that is happening is trying to bring you back into homeostasis balance. The more you fight that, the more you delay that peace and that homeostasis balance. When you can drop all perceptions that you're wrong, that you're worthless, that it's not good enough, that you're hurt, when you drop all that and when you unpack and get underneath all that, at its core, what's sitting there is complete and utter, pure love. And when you come into a space remembering that, when you come into a space of holding that vibration of love, you have, see, hello, knocking at the door, the love's sitting there. When you have and come into a space with that love, that's what transforms it. Yes, we've got feelings and it's all valid. But under that, the love is valid too. And all it is trying to do is reconnect you back to that homeostasis balance of your pure, unadulterated self. That is whole, that is complete, that nothing is wrong, that you haven't done anything wrong, you never will, you never have, you've just made a series of choices. Anything that makes you feel wrong, anything that, you know, somebody's telling you should have done is all coming from here. But when we drop into here, all you've been doing is following your heart and doing what's felt right for you. So release that. And like I said, if you have been feeling anxiety, just check out what's been going over your day, your week, your month. if you're feeling like you're going to get in trouble, if you're feeling wrong, or you feel like all this sort of stuff, it's untruths. And you're not wrong. You're not in trouble. But if you feel that way, it's about reassessing the truth. And under all that judgment, under all that stuff, is pure love. When we can return back to that space, we're able to breathe into our heart. We're able to take that deeper breath. We're able to feel that peace and return to that homeostasis balance. Yeah? Does anyone have any questions? I see there's a few of you joined live. Any questions about being in trouble, about anxiety? Or if this is resonating with you, please give me some love hearts and let me know if this has helped you today. But if you're feeling called, you're feeling lost sometimes, you want to walk your life's path, you don't know what direction to take. So, in that space too, like we can feel like we're going to be wrong because we're waiting for somebody to give us direction too. Because, for 12 years usually, we're at school being told what to do, think this way, do these sums, turn up to this class, think this way, do this, get this grade, and then you're good enough. And then you can go to TAFE or uni, and then you can get that real job, and then you can get a house, and then you've made it. Oh, hang on a sec, you've got to get married and have a successful marriage and kids at the same time, and then you've made it. And if you do anything else than that, well, then you're wrong. And if you start thinking differently to everybody else, you're going to get kicked out of the tribe because you're not normal. I say, fuck the normal, right? When you feel lost, you're recalibrating, right? I posted this on my wall. I did a live stream about ages ago. If you scroll down my page, you'll see it. It's a YouTube link. You're not lost, you're recalibrating. When you are lost, what is happening is you're starting to unpack and realize that actually that doesn't resonate with me, and you want to walk your life path but you're not sure what direction to take. You turn up to what feels right today and the next step. And the other part of that is that you follow what brings you alive, what brings you happiness, right? It's like the old cliche, like follow your bliss, follow your heart, right? But in that sense, it is about releasing all of those judgments and coming out of your head and what you think you should be doing and into your heart and what you want to do. That, when you're dropping out of your head and releasing all the things you thought you should do to be good enough, and when you're dropping into your heart, what you're doing is you're building a muscle, because that muscle won't be very strong when you're first doing this. So you can feel lost, and it's like when you move house, right? And you've got to find all your new local shops and your new local people, and like it's takes a bit, right? So when you're wanting to follow your life's path but you don't know which direction to take, it is a recalibrating of releasing all the shoulds and getting this heart muscle strong. Because when you get that strong, that's when you feel more confident in yourself. You trust yourself because you know that, this heart muscle is strong. Whereas now, when you first start doing this, you're like, I don't know what to do. And, I thought that I should have done that. And then you're kind of like, well, maybe I should be doing that because I don't know what else to do. Or no, but that doesn't feel right, but I just don't know what to do, right? When you also change direction or come out of a relationship or you're changing anything, there's a point of knowing what you don't want. Then there's kind of this gap and this space. And then there's like you get clear on what you do want. So in my March tarot forecast, actually, that I just released this morning, so that too is down on my page. You can scroll down and click on the link to look at the week by week tarot forecast for this month. This first month is all about that. Don't be fooled by the space is the theme, right? It is like this space is like a recalibration, and soon you're going to get clear and just go zoom, right? So just allow yourself to have that space, because you're getting information, you're getting clear, you're releasing what doesn't work, but you don't know what you want to do. Just get comfortable with space, yeah, because you're receiving the information. A lot of people that I know right now, and I'm seeing you guys on live stream and my clients, it's like there's a space and they're having to learn to be okay with space and not do. Space is receiving, space is feminine, space is power, space is being comfortable in being. Space comes from an internal connection and groundedness, that you are connected, supported, and given the information you need to go in the direction you need to go in that moment you need to go. You don't need to know the outcome. You don't need to know the details. You don't need to know the next step until you're ready to take the next step, or until you turn up to the next step. More likely you get the information. The more steps you take, the more information starts flowing through, and you're like, oh, and that's why it's important to stay present, grounded, be okay with space. Because when you get a little inkling, or you're like, oh, I want to do that, the only thing that will stop you doing that is like, oh no, you shouldn't do that, because your head will always find something that you shouldn't be doing. Well, this is the heart muscle that we're growing stronger. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm hearing you saying that. And if you listen carefully, you might hear somebody else's voice in your head from ages ago or something. And you're like, okay, well, my heart actually wants to do this, so I'm going to trust this over anything else right now. Because I'm connected to my spirit, I'm connected to my soul, I'm connected to my intuition, and I am learning to trust myself more and more and more, that I'm being shown every single step of the way every day right now, because I'm connected to my intuition, my space, my soul. You're trying to get comfortable with space. It's hard. Okay, so that's an affirmation. Yeah? Reframe those words. Yeah, they're just words, but they're powerful. Okay? I am learning to get comfortable with space. It is becoming easier and easier and easier for me to get comfortable with space. I'm trusting space because I know I'm in my deep connection and intuition to my feminine, present, grounded energy. And I know that in this space I'm deeply aware. I know what steps I need to take. I am listening for my next step. I am ready and present because I am grounded and deeply aware of everything going on around me physically. Even though I'm not looking around, I can see with my third eye, my peripheral vision of everything that's happening around me. I know what's going on physically, and then I can tune in energetically and spiritually about everything that's going on around me. And when I'm in this space of deep presence and connection, I can sense all of that at once. I can sense all of this right now. And because I am so grounded, present, and here, when there's an inkling of intuition to go this way and it makes me come alive and I'm like, oh my God, yes. I follow that because I trust and I've been listening and I'm here and I'm connected to my heart and my intuition. Yeah? Yeah. Really powerful. And it's important to acknowledge that, but when you write something like that, you're journaling, or even if you just catch yourself voicing something, acknowledge it. It's like, yeah, okay, this is the situation. What do I actually want? Okay, yes, I'm getting more comfortable with space. I'm learning that it's okay space because I'm in my feminine energy. I am present and connected when there is space. I don't have to be doing all the time. That's the masculine. That's the old. I'm learning to be comfortable in my feminine because that's a powerful, radiating, receiving energy that people feel, and it makes me more connected than ever when I'm really, really present and aware and here. Yeah? You're welcome. I'm so glad that sounds like it's helped you. So Tabitha, been getting permission in a way from people today to do what I want to do. I don't need permission. It's just fear reminding me to actually just do it. Yeah. And sometimes we need reminders of permission, and then that gives us the reminder that actually we don't need permission. I just need to trust myself and do it. And for you, Tabitha, and anyone who's working on their life purpose, it is one of the number one steps that I teach in the Life Purpose Mentorship, that when you start working on your purpose and then you get into avoidance mode and you sabotage, you're just hitting up against your next level of unworthiness or fear of being killed, like past lives, and exactly what I spoke about on the start of this live stream. So you might want to watch the start of this live stream too, Tabitha. Because it was very powerful. It's a very powerful thing to be aware of, that when you are present and grounded, and when you're having trouble being present, feeling safe in your present space, when yes, it's a reframing and a relearning of being comfortable in that space, and you're learning to be okay in that space. when you're struggling to stay there and you know that you should be present, or, you know, you can feel the resistance yourself, you know, like I should be writing my book today, or I should be working on my life purpose today, whatever that looks like to you. But if you've still, you know, and you're coming up day after day after day, why can't I sit down and do it? You've got some sort of wound there just from your past, some sort of not good enough, some sort of I'm going to get killed again running in that thread, or I'm wrong for being who I am and having a voice. So I highly recommend, if you didn't catch the start of this live stream, please watch again just to start, because I spoke about the wrongness thread, anxiety, you know, all of that. So it's kind of leads on to what I've just been speaking about. You guys have caught me here. You're welcome, Tabitha. I was told I need to ground myself more. It's hard for me to meditate. So yeah, I'm learning to meditate. And to be honest, Rena, like I couldn't meditate in the start either, but yoga taught me how to meditate. I needed, you know, for being such an active, out there, masculine dominated energy that I've learned to drop into my feminine energy. Being in that space, I don't know that I really tried. I guess I did, try to meditate. I did a lot of healing work before, you know, I guess what I'm saying is to sit still and meditate out of my own free will was something that I never did. I did the Lightwork practitioner training. There was a stack of guided meditations and processes in there. I did those pretty effortlessly because I was in that group setting. But to meditate on my own, the still mind meditation, like there's so many different meditations you can do. There's different, you know, as many as there's different books in the world, there's that many different styles of meditating, right? But if you're talking, you know, it's hard for me to meditate when you're saying that, Rena. Like, again, it's like I'm learning to meditate. I'm learning to understand how to meditate for me. There's many different styles. As many as there's books in there as well, there's many different styles. What I'm saying is the still mind meditation, to be able to sit there and actually find that comfortable and to crave and want that space, to do that, yoga taught me how to meditate in that way, simply because I had to, like, you know, I did it 3 times a week religiously for about 18 months solid, when I, you know, came off recreational drugs. And, you know, it was like I jumped into spirituality. That became my drug. That's another story in itself. I've actually got a live stream coming up in the next kind of 2 weeks, talking about my personal story and getting off recreational drugs and how my journey unfolded. So anyway, keep an eye out for that if that, you know, has an inkling of wanting to learn more about that. The thing that I'm saying is, you know, like going to yoga 3 times a week, it was an Ashtanga based yoga. So it was a fairly masculine dominated yoga style, but that taught me how to train my breath. Remember, it's all training, right? We're training to breathe deeper. We're training to, you know, change our neural pathways. We're training our way to our language, right? We're retraining. Anything we're learning in the start, like retraining, everything I'm talking about, is like learning to drive a car. I always refer to this, and it's always such an awesome scenario, because when we learn to drive a car, it's so overwhelming. We're like, oh my friggin' God. And now we drive from A to B and we don't even remember because we're thinking about other things, right? So remember that we're learning to do these things, and it does become easier with practice. Like I said, you know, like yoga taught me to meditate because it was the physical movement and the connected with the breath and the timing and all of that that learnt, that I understood and learnt how to breathe in relation to my body, what connection to my physical body was a certain breath or movement, or, you know, becoming very conscious of the physical body as well. So, you know, yoga taught me to meditate, and it wasn't until I'd done, you know, how many years of yoga. I'm not saying you have to do that to be able to meditate, but it really helped me as a really male dominated, you know, running the world energy to be able to learn to sit still and meditate for specific still mind meditation, if that's what you're talking about. You know, to have that awareness, you know, and to get deep into your body, because the thing with meditation is it's amazing, it's powerful, I highly recommend it. But if we don't have that mind-body connection, we can be meditating and stay stuck in our head even though we're sitting still. We're not in our body. And the best form of protection against darkness, entities, against friggin' anything, is to be, against illness, right? Physical illness, is to be grounded, our soul be grounded in our body. So yoga is an awesome tool for that. Any sort of cardio cardio exercise is, you know, strength training exercise is good to get you in your body, is the best form of protection. So yeah, like it is learning how to meditate. And like I said, there's a zillion different styles of meditation. It's about finding what works for you. And, you know, for me, I've gone through so many different styles of meditation over the past 12 years that there's now one or two that I just use all the time, right? Styles, that is. And, you know, as someone asked me today, what do you use or whatever, I'm like, I don't know, like everyday life meditation, because meditation, the goal of meditation is about connection, right? It's connecting you to your soul. The goal is connection, ultimately, to your soul, to your stillness, to whatever. And when you can meditate, yes, and bring that into your everyday life, so it's not what you just do on your little cushion or your mat for 10 minutes or yoga for an hour. It's then that connection that you're bringing into the world, into your everyday life. Like all the tools that I teach in Trust to Intuition and all my courses are so that it becomes a normal part of your everyday, you know, existence, when you're in the shower, when you're cooking, when you're driving, you know, like it's just who you are, right? So yeah, I'm just reading your comment there. I think I am a moving meditator. When I walk in the afternoon, I think and connect more. It's so hard to sit and stay still and clear my mind. Yeah, so, you know, like physical exercise shifts stuff out. It gets you in your body, so then you can process what's in there rather than you staying in your head and, you know, this building up and then hitting your physical body, and that's when we get physically sick, right? So when you can, you know, it's why they say, you know, the most successful on the planet exercise pretty much every day, right? It's a part of their routine, it's part of who they are, because it shifts the stuff out of your body, plus you don't get stuck in your head. So when you say it's hard to sit still and clear your mind, when you've got feelings and stuff sitting in your body, yes, it is hard to, you know, sit still. So, you know, if you haven't done yoga on a regular basis, Rena, I highly recommend finding an awesome yoga teacher. And, you know, the thing with yoga, it's just like any other teacher or anything else. You know, if you go to a specific class and you don't like that style of yoga or that teacher, don't get put off by yoga. Go to different classes until you find a teacher that you resonate with, because every single teacher has a different vibration, a different style of talking, a different style of teaching and being, right? So find something that resonates, because, I mean, it might not be yoga, it might be a personal trainer, you know, for you that helps you get into that space, but I'm suggesting yoga because it is, you know, that mind-body connection, specifically for meditation. So, just checking here. All right, so if you just joined this live stream and you want to rewatch, no, I'm not saying if you want to rewatch, I'm saying you have to rewatch the start of this live stream. If you jumped on halfway and you suffer from anxiety or resonate with anything that I've been saying in the last half of this live stream, or whenever you jumped on from, please rewatch the start, because it's really, really powerful in explaining, you know, about anxiety and all of that. So if you've missed it, please go and rewatch the start. I'm going to post a link in the comments to Heal the Land. We did the first workshop today, and you can get the recording of that. There's another 2 live workshops today, tomorrow and Saturday or Friday if you're on the other side of the world, and that's still available to jump in now. So I'll post a link in the comments, and if you think that this can help somebody, please share it with them, or you can tag their name in the comments, and if you know, think that this has helped you as well, please give me some love hearts if you're watching the replay too. And I see there's a few of you that have just joined me live as well. Hello to you, and yeah, please watch the start of this live stream if anything that I'm saying has been resonating, or if you feel like you have anxiety at any time at all, because it feels like it's something that's coming up in the collective right now to be cleared. So yeah, and it is about connecting. It is about, you know, ultimately, like I said, you know, I think you might have missed it, but, you know, when I was saying earlier in the live stream, it's like, you know, everything in your reality is showing you a way back to homeostasis, is showing you a way back to balance, is showing you a way back to love. And it's about releasing all of those judgments and all of that wrong that you're going to get in trouble or whatever it is, right, that you're carrying, that's stopping you returning to that space. Like, don't be feared, like, don't fear saying sorry, because you're going to get in trouble for what you did. Yeah? So if you think that this can help somebody, like I said, please share it with them, and I'll post a link in the comments to Heal Your Land. You can still come and join in on that. and I shall see you very soon. Remember, we're keeping it real, always returning to love. Namaste.